Sorry, I lost my composure there. Anyway, Oscar then went south, caressing all over Artemis's parts along the way with his tongue. He didn't care for his fur, and reached his little dick, stroking it with his fingers and licking it as if it was a clit. Artemis moaned silently with his eyes closed as Oscar continued. Oscar looked at expression on Artemis's face and said, "Artemis, you feel good, don't you?" Artemis was grabbing the bed with his nails. It was too much pleasure for him. Ah, please, don't stop. Ah. Oscar's fingers replaced his tongue, and it went licking it way up to his stomach, his chest, and his chin, and away, and again to his mouth. They locked tongues again as Oscar's fingers continued to stroke Artemis's dick. They parted tongues. Ah, that's it. Ooh, Oscar said. Oscar, Artemis said, excuse me. Oscar said, again went south, but this time he began licking Artemis' dick as if it was a nipple. Ah, please, don't. Ah, do that. Ah, Artemis said, feeling a little embarrassed. Oscar still stroked his dick and said, "Why not? Don't you feel good?" Artemis said, "Yes, uh, but it's embarrassing." Oscar kept sucking on Artemis' dick as Artemis moaned louder. Suddenly, Artemis climaxed, letting out a part of his load in Oscar's mouth. Artemis saw Oscar's face and noticed it come. "Oh, sorry, Oscar. I just lost control." Oscar looked at him with a smile. "It's okay, Artemis. It's good to release it." He giggled and then plunged his finger in Oscar's little hole. Ah, ah, yes, Artemis said as his body was caught. Oh, God. Oh, right a moment. Oh, God, this is emotional Oscar's fingers. Artemis had tears in his eyes, and he was enjoying it, but it was painful. Oscar pulled his finger out of Artemis' little hole, and then Artemis said, "It's my turn now." Artemis began licking Oscar's big dick and began giving him a blowjob. Oscar thought, "Wow, I've never seen a blowjob this fast," and said, "Oh, ah, yes, you make it good." Artemis smiled and as he continued, and then went his down, licking his way to Oscar's inner thighs. Oscar began breathing quicker as Artemis' tongue got closer to his pink, swollen clit, now dampened and wet from his wet love juices. Artemis then smiled as he reached his pussy, licking his clit in little circles. His tongue then and chin was being soaked by Oscar's love juices. Oscar started to spasm, and his back arched up, making his firm ass up bed. Artemis, what the hell? With his paws open, Oscar's pussy lips, and now Artemis' tongue darted in and out of Oscar's love hole. Artemis wanted to plunge into him here and there, but alas, he was too small, even though he had a big member for a cat. But just like Oscar could read the thoughts of cats, said, "Don't, worry, Artemis. Fuck me. Please." He begged. Artemis gladly accepted and thrust his little dick inside him, waving it across Oscar's inner walls. Oscar began to sweat like hell, and Artemis, a little frustrated about his size, plunged his paws into him. Oscar, feeling this, yelled, "Ah, yes, ah," gasped for air as an immense wave of pleasure ripped him. Artemis slowly moved his paws in and out from Oscar's slick love hole, bringing out more pre-cum as Oscar got more excited. Suddenly, Oscar began stroking his own cock, Artemis saw this and took his paws out from Oscar's love hole. Artemis then stroked Oscar's dick with his slippery paws, pumping Oscar's dick and putting it into his mouth. Oscar started fingering himself, his pussy easily accepting his first 2 fingers and eventually trusted another 3. Oscar pulled out a puddle of cum and said to Artemis, "Here, Artemis," and Artemis licked the cum out of Oscar's fingers, retained it in his mouth, and went to Oscar's face. And again they locked tongues. Artemis let out the cum from his mouth into Oscar's mouth. They enjoyed the sweet flavor of the cum in their kiss. Artemis then returned to Oscar's crouch, sucking on Oscar's dick. Oscar continued fingering himself as well as Artemis plumped his dick over Oscar's tight pussy. Artemis then straightened up his tail and entered the dripping hole with it, pumping it slowly, making Oscar spasm with even more, in one final thrust. Artemis pumped all his load over Oscar's tight pussy. The feeling of him spraying over his pussy made Oscar go over the edge. He reached his first orgasm, grabbing the bed desperately as he lost control, as his dick let out a high amount of sperm, making Artemis feel what Oscar felt. His cunt let in a great amount of cum, soaking the bed sheets and his lover's tail, and his cunt seized his fingers and Artemis' pumping tail and shoved even more deeply into his fingers, making a second orgasm hit him. Artemis teased his clit as the last wave of pleasure running by Oscar's spasmed body. He took out his fingers, enjoyed the taste of his first cum. Artemis licked his paws. Artemis laid on him flat on his stomach, tail out of his pussy, and said, "Oh, Oscar, I never felt so satisfied." Oscar said, exhausted, "Thank you, my love." They laid in bed for about 10 minutes and dozed off to sleep. The next day, Oscar woke up and didn't. Let's start the next one.